Cheers. A long time no see. And the reason for that is because I've been immersing in other type of expertises like construction and architecture, especially architecture. I'm gonna be designing El Salon, which is an interior architectural project that I have, and I'm gonna do it solely with autodidactism, self-teaching architecture. My parents have granted me the creative liberty to design that room in our house in Mexico, in Tijuana. Tijuana, Mexico, just how it should be pronounced. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. This is my project of this year, I would say. But and yeah, I've been reading books and just drawing design because I'm not a good drawer. I'm not a good I'm not very good at drawing. But that's not an absolute statement. I'm gonna change that statement and become good at drawing, just how I became good at programming by autodidactism. Is that how you pronounce it? Autodidactism pronunciation.
Autodidactism.
Damn. Okay, didactism.
Autodidactism.
Autodidactism. So anyway, you understand. I mean, I'm gonna use self-teaching to learn about this interior architecture, and if you read my blogs, you will also see that I have enrolled in classes to get an architectural degree, and not because of the degree, but because of the NAAB accredited, credits that those type of license no those type of degrees give me. I want to open my own architectural firm, and again, I explain why on a blog post, so I'm not gonna do it right here. But basically, I love programming. I like programming, but I also want to. I feel that programming is very esoteric and also idiosyncratic. Like I like programming. I like the functionality and the art of programming, and especially of web design, optimization, automation. I like that, but that's very esoteric and individualistic. And I mean, sure, I like individualism. I enjoy that, but I want my pieces, my art pieces, to transcend myself. I want to die and then my pieces to remain there. And I feel that architecture has that essence. Like it has artistic, I mean, it's an art. It's definitely more art than programming, and it also has functionality such as light, materials, shapes. And the most important thing is that because in order to appreciate programming art, you need to know about programming. I feel that in order to really, and let me open here so you guys look at me. I'm pretty, right? In order to really appreciate programming art, you need to, of course, understand it. I mean, because otherwise you will not. Because you can see a website, a design of a website, and be like, oh, that's cool. I mean, that's art. I would say that's art. But programming is not only web design. That's what I'm talking about. Programming has, of course, it's not only what you produce, but also how you produce it, and that's the art of programming. And I like that. I like that aspect of programming. I like that you can produce art on the back and front end of programming, but you need to understand how programming works in order to really appreciate that. Like I said, you can appreciate the result of some aspects of some results of programming, such as web design, but that's the only aspect you can really appreciate without programming knowledge. Um, so yeah, I mean, in order to really appreciate programming or the art of programming, you need to understand it, and not a lot of people do, and I don't blame them. I mean, it's cool to know them, but I feel that programming for its sake is not really that interesting. I mean, sure, it helps you with, like I said, for its sake. I mean, because I think programming as a tool is very important to learn. Just and for anyone, despite regardless of your job or for your profession or your goals, I think learning programming is really really important because it's just like learning how to negotiate or to speak in public or to I think to write about something to understand the definition of something because you can understand anything if you know how to describe it. I think like if you have the words to describe it, you can immerse into any field and understand its nature. I believe. So I think programming is as important as negotiation, public speaking, social demeanor, etiquette. Even if you don't agree with all those aspects, I think they're useful anyway, regardless of your like I said of your job, of your profession, of your goals. They're important. And why is programming important? Because it gives you like a set of tools that can be applied to automate certain aspects regardless of your profession. For example, web scraping. I think we have found a lot of success with web scraping technologies in the construction industry and construction estimating and construction project management. Even though I mean you wouldn't thought that programming is involved in construction, but it is. I mean, it is sure it is, but not to the extent that people think. But you can gain a lot of knowledge if you web scrap certain websites, and obtain the data and use it for construction. I mean, a very good example is with Sonder. I mean, with Sonder is something that I built using programming. I mean, this is a tool that people involved in the construction industry can use to find contractors, to find awarding bodies, locate active bids in both tabulation and map form. And this is look, all these technologies, I web scrap the data from them and then just display them using programming. Um, so that's what I'm talking about. I mean, and I think this can be applied to any expertise, and not only construction. I think can be applied to any art, expertise, job, anything. I think it's like a great tool. Besides, it helps you to I don't know, like programming actually like shapes your mind. I mean, I think any expertise shapes your mind in a way that you you see things more. You approach things in a automatic, optimized way. At least in my case, like because of programming, I actually break down and compartmentalize everything that I approach by categories and then approach them one by one. I mean, I don't know if that's autism or programming. I don't know, but it has helped. Anyway, what I'm saying is that my point is that programming is cool, but not. I don't want to do it for its own sake. I don't want to do it for the rest of my life. I don't. I like it as a tool, just as language is, writing is, negotiating, speaking in public, and social cues is. Those are tools, but I don't want to do them for their own sake. However, when it comes to architecture, at least the minimal development or unfold I have in that field, I liked it a lot. I have liked it a lot, and perhaps this is ephemeral. This enjoyment of the field is ephemeral, but I'm not married with the enjoyment of the field, which although I like right now, and although I like programming, and this video is about programming, I'm gonna be programming in a few minutes. Um, I like doing architecture, but I like the idea behind the field, behind the expertise. That you not only because also another topic, like again, I explained this in my blog, but with programming, like I said, is very very idiosyncratic, like very esoteric. Um, like I said, you need to know the knowledge to appreciate programming, to appreciate everything, the art behind it. Um, which is not something that a lot of people have. However, in architecture, in order to appreciate, and also programming is digital. Like without a computer, you cannot do programming. You cannot appreciate programming. I mean, imagine the internet is gone and there is no digital tools. Your art is gone. Yourself is gone. your creations are gone. And I don't like the fact that in order to appreciate the art of programming, you need a tool, a digital tool, like a screen. That you can only appreciate things through a screen, and I don't like that. I don't like art in that way. Um, the same can go for graphic design. I mean, well, graphic design is different because graphic design can be applied to banners, pictures, art on the wall. Like it's not necessarily on digital form, but programming it is, at least nowadays. In order to appreciate programming, you not only need to know about it, need to know the mechanisms of programming, but you also need to do it through a digital screen. And I'm tired of those fucking screens anymore. Like I not only do I do it on the job, which is fine, I'm okay with that, but or we cannot go anywhere without our phones, you know? Like it's tiring, man. It's exhausting. Um, I don't want my art to be like that way. Um, anyway, why am I saying this? Because I was gonna explain why I have shifted my impetus in life to from programming to architecture. Because, like I said, I mean both are functional. Both have as essence they have artistic and functional mechanisms. Programming is, I think the goal for programming is automation and optimization, and there is art in that. There's an artistic way to approach those things. The same goes for architecture. I mean, you can align the light, the shape, and the materials of the structure um, by artistic matters, like by functional matters. And the main, I think the main difference, among others, of course, other evident ones, is that, like I said, in order to appreciate programming, you need a digital screen, but in order to appreciate architecture, you just need your human senses, your touch, your smell, your eye, your sight, touch, smell, sight. How do you call it? Like, what are the five human senses? Five human senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. You only need that. You don't need third-party tools or an additional guy, person, or any other tools. Like you just need to be there and experiment the structure you are in. I like that. I like that idea. I like that in order to appreciate such art, you not only need to know about it, like design, like of course it's amazing that it comes from your mind, like the design comes from your mind and your knowledge of construction and architecture. But in order for because programming cannot be on the art of programming cannot be understood by a lot of people, but in architecture it can. I mean, it can be understood by any human regardless of race, class, knowledge, or any other stupid label we use to feel superior above others. um, You just need to be human and be in that structure to appreciate it. That's for starters, that's amazing. That expands not only the audience but the impact of such art that architecture is. And also not only that, but I feel that architecture transcends yourself. If you do it well enough, the buildings will remain more alive longer than you are, than the architect yourself. I might die tomorrow, but I might die next year, but the interior architectural project that I'm gonna do this summer, if I'm still alive by then, is gonna remain. And it's gonna be a reflection of myself, because any creation, any artistic creation of yourself is a reflection of yourself. And I think architecture can transcend yourself in a matter of time. A reflection of yourself will be there on that side, appreciated by anyone with any of the human senses. I don't know, I like that idea, and I want to die doing that. I want to devote my life doing that. There might be moments where I might not want to do architecture, just as it goes with any aspect of life, that is love, profession, education, art. Even there is some times where you are not feeling like doing art, like you don't feel like reading, writing, speaking to someone. You just don't want to do it. But this idea of not only my pieces to transcend myself, my lifespan, but also of any other human, any other human being able to appreciate such art without the knowledge of it, without the knowledge to create it. I like that idea. That motivates me. That motivates me because you don't need a digital screen or a tool that maybe you cannot afford or maybe you don't understand in order to appreciate the art. You just need to be there and experiment and humanly experiment the architectural piece that you're you're amidst you, surrounding you. I like that idea. I want my art to be like that. I want to devote my life to that, and I'm gonna do anything necessary to achieve that. To achieve such product, such life. Even if it's successful or not, like I said, my works are gonna transcend. I don't care if if you think they are beautiful or not, they're gonna transcend. They're gonna remain there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, it's is why, in my case, architecture supersedes programming. The art of architecture does. Again, nothing against programming, like you guys are about to see. I'm gonna program us in a few minutes, and I don't want to lose the skill because, like I said, programming is a skill. I don't want to lose it. Um, but yeah, my focus is gonna be mainly architecture from now on. So yeah, that was my little rant, my explanation, and yeah, I mean, let's do this. Let's fucking do this. So, for the matter of this video, by the way, we're gonna, because we have been extracting a lot of data from multiple sites. As you can see, look, I have almost ha- half a megabyte of data. Um, and the reason why I'm extracting this data is to help my I don't know, my current, because right now I work as a construction estimator, and I like it. It's fine. Like I said, I mean, it's in the construction industry, so I am understanding how things work in the construction, in the back end of architecture, because I think the architecture, I like to compare back end and front end of web design with our surroundings. Back end being the construction of, construction estimating, construction management, cost, material, etc., and the front end of our surroundings is architecture. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And I think I'm gonna do this video separately, and then I'm gonna record another video. So yeah, that's the message. Hope you enjoy it. Hay que seguir luchando por nuestros sueños. Los vamos a alcanzar, no importa lo que sea, no importa el obstáculo que se presente enfrente de nosotros. Lo vamos a tumbar y alcanzarlo. Porque si no lo hacemos, entonces, ¿por qué chingados estamos viviendo? Si no estamos luchando por un futuro mejor o por una situación mejor o por algo que queremos. Entonces, ¿qué estamos haciendo? ¿Somos zombies o qué? No, nada de eso. Nada de eso. Vamos a hacer todo lo posible para alcanzar eso. Y si no lo alcanzamos, vamos a morir intentándolo. Cheers.